Niyi Adesanya is recognized as one of Nigerians' foremost pragmatic and inspirational speakers and a leading voice on leadership transformation in the country. For more than 15 years, Niyi has devoted himself to researching and studying leadership and applying what he has learned as a practitioner. Since he commenced his professional career in 2005, he has spoken in over 100 tertiary institutions and delivered keynote speeches to top officials of various institutions, including multinationals like Chevron, Nine Mobile, First Bank, and the Chartered Institution of Arbitrators of Nigeria. Niyi is also a consultant, entrepreneur, and founder of the Speakers Academy, Marketplace Academy, and the CEO, Fifth Gear Plus, an avant-garde consulting, recruiting, and publishing firm. So far, Niyi has trained more than 9,200 corporate professionals, addressed over 3 million audiences, and coached more than 1,000 individuals. His life coach and leadership acumen has been felt on a one-on-one personal level as a coach to many high-profile individuals, including governors, top executives, and celebrities. Ladies and gentlemen, one more time, please make welcome our distinguished Niyi Adesanya to Wealth Summit 2020.
Okay, thank you. Let me start by saying a big thank you to Sheyi and Wisdom. Thank you so much for having us here. And then for the things that you're doing, we can see the cars that you're giving. And then the money you're giving, the 10,000 naira, I was just soliciting with them that they should change the naira to dollars, then I will participate if it's $10,000. But thank you so much. You have really saved Nigeria from a lot of heartaches and backwardness by the people that you have employed. 4,000, 5,000 people. I think they deserve a round of applause, I know you guys are tired, but you can put your hands together louder than that. And again, let me also celebrate before I go to the, it's not a masquerade, but they said the big masquerade is the one that enters. Clement, thank you so much for being here, for supporting your brothers. Ayo, thank you. I know we are in a gathering that we can use first name basis, so it's okay. But the next person I want to talk about, thank God he has a doctor. So even if I remove the pastor, I can use the doctor. Because to call the name alone may be a little bit difficult for me. So, but it did an awesome job. Next time, when you guys are planning a program like this, let him be the last speaker. Since he has made us think about our funeral, I need the resurrection power to be able to speak here. But did you enjoy the last speaker? Did you? So, ladies and gentlemen, if you don't mind, he's a general in the body of Christ. Why not just rise up, and he's the only one sitting down. Let us put our hands together and celebrate Dr. Olumide Emmanuel. Thank you so much, sir. Good. I hope the CD, I can have it. Okay, good. Fantastic. So, interestingly, they said I should talk about the psychology of wealth. Doctor has already spoken about the psychology of wealth. Because when you're talking about psychology of wealth, you're talking about mindset, the way you think. And then I wasn't here when Bankole and Wisdom spoke, but they were also talking about thinking and everything. So that's all about mindset. So when he was speaking, I had to start calling some slides so that I can reconjure my slides and change it a little bit so that I don't keep repeating what everyone has been saying. So today, I'm not talking about the psychology of wealth. I'm teaching on how to bridge the disadvantage gap. Many of us do not realize that we were born into a whole lot of disadvantages. Number one, when you are born in Nigeria, it's disadvantage. Trump just issued a ban on immigration, people seeking immigration from Nigeria. That is disadvantage. Now, when you look at the World Economic Forum, the statistics of the competitive nations, Nigeria has always been towards the bottom. In other words, what that means is that when you and a Canadian, or when you and an American seek for an international job, they begin to score you based on those indices and those statistics. That is disadvantage already. So you must know what you need to do, how you need to go about doing it, so that you can bridge that gap in record time. If you don't mind, let us watch this video, and then I'll take up from there. I hope the video is ready.
The winner of this race will take this. It's a $100 bill. Before I say go, I'm going to make a couple statements. If those statements apply to you, I want you to take 2 steps forward. If those statements don't apply to you, I want you to stay right where you're at. Take 2 steps forward if both of your parents are still married. Take 2 steps forward if you grew up with a father figure in the home. Take 2 steps forward if you had access to a private education. Take 2 steps forward if you had access to a free tutor growing up. Take 2 steps forward if you've never had to worry about your cell phone being shut off. Take 2 steps forward if you've never had to help mom or dad with the bills. Take 2 steps forward if it wasn't because of your athletic ability, you don't have to pay for college. Take 2 steps forward if you never wondered where your next meal was going to come from. I want you guys up here in the front just to turn around and look. Every statement I've made has nothing to do with anything any of you have done. Has nothing to do with decisions you've made. Everything I have said has nothing to do with what you've done. We all know these people up here have a better opportunity to win this $100. Does that mean these people back here can't race? No. We would be foolish to not realize we've been given more opportunity. We don't want to recognize that we've been given a head start. But the reality is we have. Now, there's no excuse. They still got to run their race. You still got to run your race. But whoever wins this $100, I think it'd be extremely foolish of you not to utilize that and learn more about somebody else's story. Because the reality is, if this was a fair race and everybody was back on that line, I guarantee you some of these black dudes would smoke all of you. And it's only because you have this big of a head start that you're possibly going to win this race called life. That is a picture of life, ladies and gentlemen. Nothing you've done has put you in the lead that you're in right now. When I say go, on your mark, get set, go! If you didn't learn anything from this activity, you're a fool.
Did you learn anything from that? Because you know what, whether you like it or not, there's some people that have been given advantages. And if you came from my kind of background, then I know that I wasn't just born in Nigeria alone. Even being born in Nigeria gave me a whole lot of disadvantage. Even from the parents I came from were serious disadvantages. I used to tell people that we were not born poor, we were born poor. We were so poor that poor people called us poor. When poor people look at you and they start calling you poor boy or poor girl, that is a pathetic case. Now you can see if you didn't have to pay for your college fee, 2 steps forward. If you did not have to think about the next meal to eat, 2 steps forward. If you didn't have to think about where to get money for to live your life, 2 steps forward. Now this is the case. Many of us are in our 40s or in our 30s, let me say 40s. Now, when you look back, reverse engineering, you now realize that I have lived in a serious disadvantage. Now, I am not necessarily coming for you. Today, I'm coming for your children. You might have had disadvantages, but do not allow your children have those disadvantages. You must not pass that as an inheritance to them. So whatever you need to do right now, when you have listened to all the speakers and some of the things I'm going to be saying, that you know that you need to bridge that gap as a matter of urgency. Actually, you have to declare a state of emergency on yourself and even on the disadvantages. Now, can I control the slide here? Is it possible? Now, you need to be fast. Just move around with me. How do we bridge it? Go to the next slide. But I don't want to say go to the next. Just go ahead of me and I'll correct it. No. Look at this. Can you see this? Look at this slide. You can see this kid struggling to climb. But you can see this other kid not struggling to climb. That is the advantage. Why was he not struggling to climb? Because they have arranged money to cover that gap. So, the number one thing you need, apart from all the other thing about mindset, about all the other thing about psychology of wealth, the number one thing you need, because all those things bring in money, is to get enough money to be able to cover that gap. Your children must attend the best of the best school. Some of us who attend some schools are not even proud to tell you the schools that we went to. Because when we're with our friends and they're talking about Queen's College, King's College, all those other secondary schools, we couldn't even summon enough courage to tell people that we went to Muslim High School, Shagamu. I don't know about you, but you know what? Sometimes you go to meetings, you see somebody introducing his secondary school friend, primary school friend, but you are looking for your own. How come my own are not here? How come they are not here? I have been walking I've been walking close, at least to some areas, corridors of power. I just need somebody to say, you know what? I know you in secondary school. I have never seen so much disadvantage. But you need money to be able to cover that up. Somebody say money. Somebody say money. So that I don't bother you with all the psychology and everything again, this is it. The statistics that I have, I think I shared it in your office the other day that I came to meet people, that 1% of the population of the world, working population of the world, which is about 36 million, made 82% of the wealth in 2017, according to Oxfam. 1% made 82% in 2017. And then they left the 99% to be struggling with 18%. Now, I saw on CNN 2 or 3 days ago, 1 week ago, that they posted it that 26 billionaires actually has more wealth than 3.8 billion people on the lower strata of the economy. 26 individuals are richer than 3.8 billion people. Now, 1% of the population of the world made 82% of the wealth. Now, the question you should be asking yourself is, who are this 1%? How can I get into this 1%? And the 1%, according to Credit Suisse, are the people who made $1 million annually. $1 million annually. That means they made 360 million naira annually. Now, let me correct something there. It's not that they kept 360 million naira annually. It's that they made 360 million every year. Do you understand the difference? You can have money stuck behind. You're not the one you're talking about. They're talking about people who make $1 million annually. Now, I did further research to find out, okay, and they said by the year 2022, which is about 2 years away, the number will grow from 36 million to 44 million. Now, this is not just in Nigeria, this is worldwide. 44 million. That means 8 million people will be added to the number, but it will still remain 1%. Somebody shout 1%. Now, I didn't say I said shout 1%. Now, you know, this is about 2 years away. I can tell you it's no more 8 million. It has reduced drastically because some people will have occupied some of those positions. And guess what? The 36 million people are already preparing their own children. You saw the video. To be part of the 8 million people that will get in there. So, getting in is becoming tighter. It's becoming so-called more difficult. So I did further research. How can I break in here and I can now lead a whole lot of people into breaking into this 1%? And I got some funny feedbacks. They said you can only break in through 3 means. Number 1, you must be born into the 1% family. In other words, somebody who is earning 360 million must give birth to you. If I ask us to raise our hands, I'm sure we could only have about 1% or 2% of people who were born like that. I couldn't even tick that box. I told you that I was not born into, you understand what I'm talking about. So, before you lose hope, there's another hope, there's another second box. Somebody say second box. No, I can't hear you shout the second box. The second box is that for you to be there, you must marry into it. Now, if you're wearing a ring, it's too late for you now, except you are from the other faith, Muslim, and then you can do 4, but in our own faith, you can't do more than 1. And if you're wearing a ring, you've been excluded probably from that. But if you're not, you could be strategic, you know. That's why I say watch and pray. They didn't say pray and watch and pray. Position yourself. You can never tell whether you could break in there. Now, you know what? All of us cannot marry into the 1%. These are very small. 44 million against 3.6 billion people. Working population. So, let us look at the last box. Since I wasn't born into it, and I did not marry into it, then my only hope is the last box. So I wanted to unveil the last box. Then when I unveiled it, then they were telling me that you must attend an Ivy League school. In other words, you must attend the Princeton, the Harvard, the Stanford, and I can see that they all just went silent. Niyi, you have not given us any hope at all. Because number 1, I couldn't tick. Number 2, I couldn't tick. Number 3, I couldn't tick. Same here. No Harvard, no Princeton. I know Doctor has Harvard, so he's not part of the people I'm talking to. And then no Princeton, no Oxford, no Cambridge, no even LBS. That is the premium in Nigeria. And then you're wondering, what hope do I have? What hope do I have? But look at this. When I looked at it, although I couldn't tick those 3 boxes, then I began to look at what is the common denominator among those 3 boxes. What message were they trying to pass across to me amongst those 3 boxes? What they were trying to tell me that was not so pronounced is that everything, whether the first or the second or the third, is centered around relationship. So, if I wasn't born into it, if I wasn't married into it, if I didn't attend an Ivy League school, I can still use that principle of relationship and still break into that 1%. Is that not what? Okay. That brings hope, eh? Put your hands together. That brings a lot of. That's what real verse is giving us. I'll talk more about that, but this is it. No man gets to the top. No woman gets to the top. I repeat that. No woman gets to the top. Every man and every woman is brought to the top. Is brought to the top. You heard the story of Sunday, Wisdom, and then even Clement. And it was Sunday that was saying it. And then, you know what he was saying? Their encounter with Dr. Olumide Emmanuel. That access into that gathering was what brought about what you're seeing today, this gathering. So they did not get to the top, they were brought to the top. No man is self-made. No man is self-made. Every one of us, sometimes when people can boast, no, I did it myself. It's a big lie. Because you know what? If we look back, if we do reverse engineering, like they say, and we begin to trace, there was somebody that triggered the equation. Whether the person gave you 100 naira or 200 naira or paid for your meal, that could have, if you didn't hit that meal, you will have died. So everything we do, if we want to break in and become financially independent, you need to start looking for quality relationships. You know, I did a research also. I was trying to look at all those rich men. You know, when they tell you that they were rich, they call them self-made millionaires. So I wanted to debunk that self-made millionaire. And the first person I thought about was Bill Gates, since he was the probably longest serving, number one richest man in our own world. I look at his history. Then I realized that he was not from a poor family. In all those rubbish that you hear people tell you, they say we motivationals, we don't tell you that you don't have to go to school. Bill Gates did not go to school. Don't listen to them. Oh. Bill Gates, I didn't go to school, came from a very wealthy background. His dad was a successful lawyer. His mother was a director in a bank. His maternal grandfather was the chairman or the president of a bank, national bank. Now, if my grandfather or my father is Elumelu or Jimovia, and I drop out from Unilag, why are you comparing yourself with me? He had relationship backup. So when you hear them, he dropped out of school, was not because of financial stress. It was because probably the idea was too much than his environment. But most of all, he cannot tell me he's self-made millionaire or billionaire. Is a lie. Who paid for your Harvard before you dropped out? Who gave you the meal while all of us were looking for a meal to eat? Now, I left that. I now went to the richest man in the world right now, Jeff Bezos. Now, Jeff, has been becoming rich. Tomorrow they say he's not rich. I think recently he made about $15 billion, about yesterday or today. He made about $15 billion addition, so he has shot up again. He's number one. Guess what? Look at him. He will now be coming to tell us that he's self-made. He's not self-made. Look, his maternal ancestors, they own 25,000 acres of land, ranch in Texas. Not in Ikorodu. In Texas. 25,000. Even bank will be looking for them to loan them money. You know, some people bank will be begging you, why not just take it? We know you don't need it, but just take it. Now look at that. The maternal grandfather was the regional director, director of Atomic Energy Commission. Worked for the DAPA. They laid the formation of what became the internet, not internet. Now, his maternal grandfather, the family that owned 25,000 hectares of ranch. The man was part of the people that built the foundation for internet. And guess the last word there. Jeff spent his early youth life with the maternal grandfather. Now, if you're the one, you are building something that you know that this thing will take over the old world in the future. Which book will you be giving your grandson to read? Which book will you be giving your grandson to read? Do we talk about the Apple guy, Steve Jobs? He will always tell you that I started my business in a garage. Here in my father's garage. And they say, this guy tried. The question is that where is the garage? Where is the house? Is he in Ajangbadi? I mean, the garage he's talking about is in Silicon Valley. Now, look at me. If you didn't know computer, you didn't know assets, you didn't know anything about electronics, they born you for a computer village. They didn't even born you there. They just took you there. You just living there. I mean, you don't know math, you don't know anything, you don't know even jack. You will know how to pieces a phone and to put it together. His stepfather's house that he started from a garage was in Silicon Valley. That's an advantage. Let's come home. Dangote. You've heard that he said that recently that he didn't collect any inheritance from his dad. Look, I was speaking somewhere and I was speaking with the richest woman in Nigeria, or probably in Africa right now. And I was showing them this. And she came and said, you know what? I did not receive any inheritance from my parents. They gave me the millions and I gave it back. I said, they even gave you. We are still looking for the inheritance we can't find. They even gave you. Now, it is not about the inheritance. It is about the atmosphere you enjoyed growing up. When you don't have to look for food to eat, you don't have to look for money to pay your bills, you don't have to look for anything to do, everything is provided freely. That is an advantage. So what you should be telling yourself right now is that I may not have had it, but I must ensure that my children cover up all those disadvantages. Great-grandson of Alhaji Dan Tata. His grandfather, the richest man in West Africa. But guess what? Maternal grandfather. Have you noticed that? Jeff Bezos, maternal grandfather. Bill Gates, maternal grandfather. Tell somebody, shine your eyes. Tell somebody, shine your eyes. Look, the easiest way to break into the 1%, if you have been deficient when it comes to this relationship, if you cannot tick all those 3 boxes, the best way is to hang around, fraternize, and get into the group of the people that are broken into it. The more you spend time with them, the more you do everything to lobby, manipulate, now watch my word, lobby, manipulate yourself into that gathering, the faster it is for you to cover that gap. Because look, it is not the money they give you, it's not the 1 million that they give you. It's not the income or the, commission. It is the information that is revolving wherever they are. So we're talking about Real Vest. Real Vest, we're saying join us. Real Vest will be having seminars. Probably every quarter where they gather and they give you information. Apart from the fact that we are using your money or you are investing your money, we are also giving you information that can transform your life. Not just your life, but even your business. Sorry, not even on your life, even your family. So, I want to break into it. I want to move close. Now that they've told me that all the things started from Dr. Lumide's office, I think I should be coming there every now and then. I want to break into it. That is the wise people. Those are the wise people. They always do everything within their power to make sure that they break into that relationship and they stay there. They stay there. I will never in my life compromise any gathering between me and Sam Adeyemi. Never. Does he do everything that I like? No. But he has an atmosphere that I can't do without. Whatever he does, I want to do. He moves, I want to move. He went to a hotel, I went to a hotel. He went to Dubai, I'm going to Dubai. He does anything he does, I don't even have to figure it out or try to explain it or try to flesh it up. As long as he does it, and I'm there, I've paid my dues, automatic for me too. Automatic for me too. Tell somebody, build relationships. No, let's make it, let's get. Tell somebody, get into real vest. No, say it very well, get into real vest. You are not just investing in real vest because of what you want to get when it comes to monetary values. You are investing into real vest because you want to breach that disadvantage gap. I might have suffered, but my son must not suffer. I might have suffered, my daughter must not suffer. My grandchild must not suffer. They must have things easy. I had to drink Gary severally before I became this, but I cannot afford them to drink Gary severally before they become what they want to become. So that is number one. Break into that relationship. Now, number two, which is centered around it, I just want to share something with you. I call it the game. There is always the politics of any game that you are in. So you must know how to stay in the game. First, you must even know how to get into the game. After you have realized how to get into the game, then you now begin to talk to yourself how to stay in the game. Many of us, probably in social science, you've been taught the heart of science and strategy, and then you realize there's something they taught us there, or they taught you there, that we read later. It is called the game theory. The game theory is an idea of two prisoners. Prisoner A and prisoner B. Prisoner A, they both committed their offense. So what they did is to put prisoner A in one corner of the room and put the other prisoner in the other corner. Now, this is it. If prisoner 1 confesses and begin to rat about this prisoner 2, and if this guy also confesses, the two of them will be jailed for 3 years. In other words, the two of them are talking. If prisoner 1 is talking, and then prisoner 2 is not talking, you know what happens? Prisoner 1 received 0 years in prison. And then because he has cobalized this one, he gets 10 years in prison. In other words, in life, games are being played. And the essence of this is that you should know the kind of game that are playing around you, and then you must be able to play it. If you don't play it, you will last longer in prison. And the guy who is playing it will be let loose. So in life, everybody must know the game that you are in. Today we're talking about game of investment. I tell you, the teaching of Dr. Olumide is so strong. I'm still thinking about it. That's a game that you must play. And then apart from that, there are different kinds of game also. I call one the game of numbers. The game of numbers. The game of standards. Standards. The game of, I need you guys to get to my slide quickly. Yeah, the game of performance, the game of numbers, the game of standard, the game of structures, the game of network. I'm coming back to this relationship with network. It's a game that you must play. The game of visibility. Out of sight is out of mind. Even when you join the Real Vest and you are not active, we are sharing comments on the group, you are not responding. We are calling meetings and you are not attending. You will not get the best out of, you will not get 100% out of the Real Vest group that we are creating for you. Now there is performance. We are performers. You guys, 8 years, you're where you are. I think you deserve all the accolades. A round of applause for them. Performance. And I know you guys have you have a record of fulfilling your words. Integrity is your watchword. And I think they deserve another round of applause for that. But you must play that game. You must be a performer. When you join, there's nothing wrong in you helping us to sell some of the real estate. It's not just your money that should work for you. Also sometimes, like this is it. They used to tell us then that if you read 1 hour every day, in 5 years, you'll become top 10%. In 10 years, you become top 1%. But here you are, you have experienced so much disadvantage. You cannot be reading 1 hour every day. You have to read at least 4 or 5 hours to be able to catch up with the deficiency. So when we get here, when we talk about Real Vest, it's not just about you putting your money into Real Vest. You are also asking them, where are your estates? Give me, I have some rich friends that I can sell these things to. Before you know what's happening, you're also making commissions from all those other parts. You are performing. And when you play the game of performance, you draw us close. The game of numbers. I can't go too deep into that, but look, everything, if I want to know how well you are or how well you are not, I will only know through numbers. Your BP, checked by number, even your height, even the cholesterol, the food that you ate. If you want to know whether it's too much or not, it's numbers that we'll get. Everything about your life runs with number. The people at the top think, analyzes in numbers. So if you want to get their attention at the top, you must be somebody who is given to numbers. You start thinking, you start everything about numbers. Now let me go back. Let me leave the other ones. Visibility, image, reputation, and then lastly, strategy. 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 I love the fact that Jeffrey spoke before me. He has shown you our strategy. He has shown you what we intend to do. He has shown you how we intend to bring you into this 1%. He has shown you the things that you must do so that we can walk on this journey together. I tell you, I have suffered before. My children cannot suffer. My children were going to school with my nieces and nephew. They were living with me when they started going to the university. And then their mother said they will go public transport. I said, not when they are living with me. I have gone through public transport. Now, when they go through public transport, they are in the private school, and then they are asking their friends. And then they are saying, you know what, my dad brought me in a limousine, my dad brought me in a Ferrari, my dad brought me, and they won't be able to talk. And once they cannot talk, it is affecting their self-esteem. You can deal with the self-esteem. You have built up yourself and say, you know what? You have already built up yourself. It is not about traveling abroad. What you need to do is to go to Unewi. Even the breeze in Unewi is as fresh as the breeze in America. And very soon, recently they told us that just at -7%. In the winter, -7. So if you want winter, instead of going to UK or America to look for winter, or Canada, to look for winter, just go to Jos. You have been able to psych up yourself to that point, but your children don't have that capacity yet. They are moved by peer pressure. So you must take away that feeling bad when they are in the midst of their contemporaries from them. That is why you have to make all the money that you have to make. And then you have to send them to the best of school that you have to send them. And then you have to make sure that when they are talking with their friends, they will have a voice. Don't become a motivational speaker on this area with your tongue. It's not about what you wear. It's not about this, it's not about that. There are other things to use motivational speaking for. Not that one. Get all and break into this. I was almost saying praise the Lord. But have you gotten anything here? Play the game of networking. Awesome. There is nothing like it. I teach this and I round off with it. It's called the stakeholders analysis. I've tried as many times to not talk about this, but the more I talk about it, the more I realize that it blesses people. I'm wondering why. Because I've been talking about this thing almost 10, 15 years. 10, 15 years. And then when I'm going and then I get stuck or sometimes I talk about it and then you can see the faces of the people light up. I was even coming from a seminar before I came here. I was talking to them about this stakeholders analysis. And we're talking about HR executives. The way their faces lit up was astonishing. So, in this network game, you must realize that there are some people that are called stakeholders. I present to you two of them today. Sunday and Ezekiel, they are stakeholders in getting you into this 1%. But this is it. When you want to know your stakeholders, two things you have to look at. You look at interest and power. Somebody shout interest. Let me know whether you're still here so that I can drop the mic even if I'm interest and power. Now, 4 categories of people. There are some people that are not interested in you and they are not powerful. In other words, this set of people cannot change anything about your life and they don't like you. And those are the people you waste your energy on. You have to let them go. Don't let them go. Show them respect. Greet people. There should not be difficult for you to say, sir, ma. Anybody you meet at the... No, you don't know the power of a gate man, no. You think that he's not powerful and he's not interested in you. The day he will not allow you park for that contract, then you realize he's a very powerful guy. But let us leave there. I don't want to focus on them. Then the second set of people are the people who are not powerful, but interested in you. Sunday and Ezekiel were not powerful, but they were interested in Dr. Olumide. Now, I'm sure he's reaping the benefits of that time. I'm sure. Some checks are coming. Some checks. Okay, good. He has confirmed. He's reaping the benefit right now because they were not powerful there, but these guys are powerful now. If you jam a hole like this, you're powerful. They were not powerful, but they were interested in him. And there's so many people around your life like that. You must show them the required respect because you don't know what tomorrow will hold. It's God that can determine tomorrow. I have people like that in my life, so I don't joke with them. Whenever they appear like this, I give them the attention. The interest is there. They don't have the power right now. I give them the attention. Now, there's a guy in the real estate business, one of the biggest boys there. If you buy, I have 2 or 3 of my books outside. You can get a copy. There's one, Individual Competitiveness. He's the one that wrote the foreword of the book. This guy, 15 years ago, was a nobody. He was so interested in me, but no power. Thank God I didn't commonize him or I didn't push him aside. Forgive the English commonize. I didn't push him aside. I paid attention. Not deliberately. I paid attention by default. You know, there are some things that we teach now that we did by default. We're just putting structure to it to explain it to people so that they can understand. That time, it was just that, the Christ mind is in you. You just have to be good. I didn't know what I was doing. It was not a strategy. It was not a plan. So, it got there, 10 years down the line, I was planning the program, and they told me to go and invite him. I said, I don't know him. They said, he's your boy. I said, I don't know him. Because you know what? A guy who has built over 2,000 housing units or 3,000, 4,000 housing units, and I say, he's my boy. I couldn't even comprehend it. How many hundreds, even how many tens have I built? I can't even comprehend it. He says, your boy is your boy. I didn't even listen to them. 2 days later, 2 weeks later, somebody came to my office and said, he's your boy now. And he went on the internet to show me his face. I saw it. I said, wow, Richard, Whoa. Now, in they build all those things? I said, yes. I said, give me his number. I gave him his number. I called him. He didn't pick up. I sent him a text. He called me back. Then the whole thing changed. Before, I would tell him, Richard, come to my office. Now, Richard is telling me, it's good to hear from you. Anytime you are on the island, let me know so that we can meet in my office. The student has become the teacher. Since it's me that is looking for something, I say, you know what, Richard, I'm coming tomorrow. I'm coming tomorrow. Sharp. I was there the next day. The guy couldn't even hug me. He was hugging my leg. I had to pull him up. I didn't know I was pulling up a multi-billionaire. He sat down, and the guy intimidated me with figures and numbers. He was playing the game of numbers. He must know how to play the game. I don't have the time to teach you all that. You must know how to play that game. He was playing the number. I was intimidated to the point that there was no spirit left in me. I was so intimidated. But you know how you bone as if you are not. And as I was leaving, he was saying, sir, I can't allow you go like this. That's the best music you can ever hear. Can I have your account details? And then I was pretending as if I was saying, no. I didn't come because of that. But deep inside me, I was saying, Mark Bon Continuous. Hey, don't pay attention to me. I said, you don't have to bother. Eventually, I sent the thing. And I got it. And when I got the transfer, it was not an alarm. It was not an alert. It was an alarm. Now, you see, if you believe what I'm about to say now, this one now, you believe Jesus Christ is already here. So, when the transfer came into my phone, it was so much of a vibration that the phone actually jumped from the table to the floor. You believe that Jesus Christ has come right now. What am I trying to say? The amount was solid from an individual. 7.5 million. For paying attention when I was not powerful, but I was interested in you. And 2 weeks later, I balanced the whole thing up with 2.5, 10 million. There was he sent me a wrong text. I said, boy, this one will be my text. So say, sorry, sir. And we started discussing. What project are you on? I say, I have a project about 4 million. I said, consider 25% from me. That means 1 million for sending me wrong text. I sent him a text. You know what? Anytime. Just add me to your to your text message. Just add me. Just add me. It was powerful, but not interested. Then you have the third category of people. Sako is there. I need to hand over the mic. The third category of people are the people that are powerful, but they are not interested in you. I don't want to talk too more about that. That will take you to, there's something we call PI. Performance, image, exposure. That's how you can get their attention. Performance, image, exposure. Performance, image, exposure. Performance, image. When you remember meat pie, then you remember that. Performance, image, exposure. That's how to get their attention. I can't go into details now. Now, the fourth category of people, those are your stakeholders. The more people you have in that category, the easier it is for you to break into the 1%, because those are the people that will bring you into the 1%. They are powerful and they are very interested in you. But let me warn you, the one that is interested in you can lose interest after a while. You must know how to keep that interest. You must know how to get into the presence of that people and be valuable to them in their presence. Hope you understand that. Valuable to them in their presence. I have people like that in my life. I don't joke with it. I told you about one. I don't like doing MC. I told them yesterday, I don't like doing MC. Compare. I fail woefully. Why? Because I don't speak good English. You're wondering, what is the one that you've been speaking since? You know this one, when you make a mistake, you correct it. When you make a mistake, you correct it. After 2 or 3 trials, you correct it. But then as a compare, you have to just get it right first. So I'm not good at that. But there's only one man that can get me to become a compare. Even when you give me money, I say no. When the money is good, I can do it. But he is the only one that can make me do that. And that's Sam Adeyemi. Every year, January, CEO's class, I'm the compare. I was the organizer before, now I'm the compare. Why am I doing that? What I don't like to do. He must not lose interest in me. He is powerful. he must not lose interest in me. Must not. There are weddings, you must be there. Daughter's wedding, birthday parties, Christmas party, Ileya festival, you must be there. I just met one powerful guy on my way to Kaduna from Abuja in the train. I can bet you, if I'm thinking about it, the next Salah, I'm in Kano. He's the son of the former Emir of Kano State. Emir of Kano, Ado Bayero. We sat down together, we discussed together for 2.5 hours. We even spoke yesterday. He's a stakeholder. He's strong. He's powerful. He must have interest in me. I must service it. So it's either I send a cow to Kano or I send myself to Kano. Let's come home. Thank you. Let's come home. These two guys here are strong stakeholders. They are powerful and they must be interested in you. They can move you into that 1%. They can help you bridge that gap in record time. So if I were you, whatever they throw at me, as long as I process it, and as long as I have the money, I must invest in it. Why? Because number one, your investment into this increases the interest they have in you. Many people come and meet me that, no, Niyi, we want counsel. We want to come and see you. I know. I will give you my extra time. But some people that when they call me, I don't have a choice, even if I'm sleeping. I will have to attend to them. Why? Because they are paid for the service. The interest must be there, whether I like it or not. It does not matter what is happening in my home. Because they all know that this is the people that brings this thing, the bread. So the interest must be there. So when you invest, the interest is going higher. And make sure anything they advertise, you are there. Anything they do, you are there. Your shortest cut to bridging that gap is real vest. Your shortest cut to bridging that gap is pertinence. Your shortest cut to bridging that gap is Ezekiel and Sunday Olorunseyi. At this point in time, I rest my case. I hope with these few words of mine, I've been able to convince you. Thank you for your time. God bless you.
Ladies and gentlemen, can we please put your hand together for Mr. Niyi Adesanya, the CEO of Fifth Gear